Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Authors on the Air. I'm your host, James Latwell. With us today, we've got J.T Ellison, who's one of the best people on the planet. I always look forward to seeing her out on the road, on conference circuit and stuff. And welcome, J.T. It's good to see you.
Thank you. It's good to see you too. It's been too long.
It has been. Yeah, I think the last time we actually saw each other was VoucherCon, maybe last year.
I think it was BoucherCon, and
Yeah.
I'll see you again at BoucherCon
Yes.
because I'm going to
Yes.
BoucherCon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But today we're talking to JT about her new book. It's called Last Scene, and oh my God, it was a see there it is. It was a thrill ride. It was so much fun.
I'm glad you liked it. It is a little bit darker than what I normally do, and it is much more insular than I normally do. It's really only one character. We have a couple of other points of view, but really we stay with one person for the whole story. And I don't normally write books like that.
No, I was going to talk to you about this one's a little bit different, and I think well maybe we'll tell people a little bit about the story of what we have in Last Scene and what Halley James has in store for her.
Poor girl. She's having the worst day. So
Oh
her
yeah.
divorce, her separation, her official separation papers, she's supposed to sign them that day. She's also supposed to be getting a promotion, and she's all dressed up in her armor, and she goes to work and gets fired instead, which is not good. And then goes home, and now she has to rethink her entire life because without a job, without being able to support herself, can she really leave her marriage at this point? And then her father calls, and he has fallen and broken his leg and needs surgery. And she sees, okay, here's an opportunity. I'm going to go home, and I'm just going to kind of walk away from all the crap that happened
Hmm.
today. And she gets home, and that seems like it's going to be a good thing. She gets to see her dad, and she's going to help him out. He needs his insurance cards. So she goes to look for them and uncovers the deep mystery of her life. She has been told her whole life that she was in a car accident with her mother and sister, and that they were killed, and she had a head injury. And as it turns out, she finds the paperwork that says her mother was not killed in the car accident. She was murdered, and her sister is the one who did it. Dun, dun,
I,
dun.
I loved it. Yeah, that was kind of a jaw-dropping moment when she found that. It was like, oh my God. And yeah, her life was bad enough already, and now we pull the rug out of everything she thought she knew in life is gone.
Is gone. I mean, her entire life is a lie. Her
Yeah.
memories are not real. Everything she's been told. I mean, and the question is why? Why would you lie about something that big? Why? And of course, there are reasons. There are reasons her father has done this to keep her safe.
Right. Now, Haley is such an interesting character. I mean, all of your novels, you put such work into creating these characters that readers get invested in. I mean, to the point in this one where there's background to her name itself, and how the
Yeah.
name was chosen. How do you go about creating, that kind of dynamic character that just, jumps off the page?
Sometimes the character comes first, and sometimes the story comes first. And in this one, I had the character. I knew Halley was named after Halley's Comet,
Hmm.
and her dad was an astrophysicist and teaches astronomy and physics at the good school in Marchburg. And I just thought that would be really fun. My dad is huge into astronomy, and it's something that we share together, right? We go and look at the telescope and look at the stars. And so that's kind of a nod to him. And those are the ways you do it, right? You find that personal connection. You find something about that character that lives in you, and you give them that thing, whether it's a quirk, like, Samantha Owens. I have OCD. She has really bad OCD. Um, uh, Taylor messes with her hair all the time. I obviously mess with my hair all the time. Olivia was infertile. Same kind
Hmm.
of thing. So you take a little kernel of you and you put them in these books, and then the people can identify with them. And you need to do that for both your protagonist and your antagonist, right?
Yes.
Even your villain has to have something that people can understand their motivation.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But you know, also, Brockville itself is as much of a character in this book as any of the humans that are on the page. You know what inspired? It's a very Stepford wife, you know,
Yeah.
Mark Atwood kind of influenced place. What inspired you to create this environment for Haley to run around in?
So I had a dream. I actually dreamt about a town called Brockville.
Wow.
And it was kind of one of those weird dreams where you get up and you write everything down because you know that there's a story there. And I did. I could see the whole town. It was on the coast. I've changed the town a little bit, but it was on the coast, and there was a funicular that went up the hill, and so they had a ski area, but they also had a harbor, and they had this writers conference that was really competitive for people to get into. And large parts of the dream I did not use, and I'm going to use for another story because it was just so much fun. But I talked to my agent the next week, and she had been on vacation, and I told her, I'm like, "Listen, I've got a story for you." And I told her about the dream, and I told her about the story, and she got really quiet, and I went, "Oh, no," because I'm not the best pitcher in the world. I'm great at a log line, but if I have to go past the log line, I can start meandering. And she was really quiet, and I'm like, "Well, blew that one." And she said, "I didn't tell you that I was in a town called Brockville last week, did I?" I'm like, "What?"
Wow.
So the night
Wow.
I had my dream, she had dropped her phone in the lake and had to go get a new phone, and the closest town was called Brockville. So it was one of those, "Oh, yeah, we're writing a book with a town called Brockville." That
Oh
is
my
so
God.
yeah, it was
Yeah. Now
really
that's amazing. I mean, have you had those kind of inspirational dreams before? To
yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. I
Yeah,
need to drink what you're drinking. Yeah, I need.
yeah, right? My first book, All the Pretty Girls, that entire book was a dream. Start to finish, all the
Wow.
characters, the story, the plot, the setting, and I got up in the middle of the night and I wrote 13 pages in a reporter's notebook. I still have that notebook.
Wow.
And
Wow.
everything got into the book except for one character, Martin Kimball, and I used him in a later book. It was weird. So, yeah, I do. I dream plots all the time, which
Oh,
is
that's
very
amazing.
helpful. I wish it would happen
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. My God. There was a little Easter egg in last scene that I got a kick out of, and it was the appearance of the good school again from, Good Girls Lie. How did that kind of come together in this book?
So, Marchburg I'm very familiar with this town in my head. It's a fake
Mhm.
town. I don't normally write places that I don't know intimately, so it making up towns is really hard for me. So Marchburg is based on Lynchburg, where I went to college, and the
Okay.
Good School is based on Randolph-Macon Women's College, where I went to college. Good is actually a women's prep school. Um, but my college, you had to live on campus in the dorms. It was very small. There was only 600 people. It was really, really tiny, and everybody, so it's really fun to revisit that because it was a unique place, right? Not
Yeah.
everybody had a college environment where you literally didn't have to leave the dorm to go class, food, everything. We had trolleys that connected. If the weather was bad, you didn't have to even go outside. It was really bizarre. So my film agent hates it when I do this, right? Because they want the IP to be completely,
Yeah.
wrapped up in one story. But I think it's super fun for the readers, and it's
Oh,
fun
yeah.
for me to pull those elements back. There's a couple of Easter eggs in this book. Marchburg, there's some stuff that happens at the end in Nashville that, anybody who's read
Mhm.
some of my earlier books are gonna be like,
Mhm.
"Oh my God, look who's back." That kind of stuff. It's just fun. It's fun for me when I'm reading other writers' work to see their Easter eggs. And so
Yeah.
I love to give them to my readers.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a nice little touch there. Not overdone, so I don't think you're your IP agent is going to be upset. It was
No,
just a
she was
reference.
like,
Yeah,
"What else from good is in the book?" And I'm like, "No, okay, trust me, nothing. It's all
yeah,
good. It was
it
only
was
that.
all good. It was all good.
All good with an
Yeah,
E."
with an E. Now, last scene. I mean, hidden secrets and people's shame, the past. All of those things are so powerful, and last scene is just filled with them. What is it about those kinds of things that are just so powerful, and just people don't want their past to be uncovered?
Right? I mean, that's my rule for writing is until I know what a person will kill to keep hidden,
Hmm.
I don't like to start writing the book because their greatest shame, their greatest secret is what drives all of these stories.
Yeah.
I really wanted to explore what isolation does. I grew up in a very isolated area, out in the woods on a dirt road, literally nothing there, just a few families, very isolated. We had to pack a lunch to go to the gas station, right? Which was, the gas station is a good 20 minutes away. And that
Yeah.
was civilization. There was a gas station and a post office and the elementary school. And then if you ventured another 30 minutes, you got to town where the junior high and the high school and, all the amenities were. It's where the grocery was and everything. So, I mean, we lived in a place where the beef guy came once a year with a cow, and you're like, okay, well, this is what I want. And they cut it up for you and you put it in the freezer. It was
Yeah.
really isolated and a lot of really bad things happened. Much of it I didn't know about until I was older. Some of it I did know about, things that were happening to some of my friends. And it was something that I've always wanted to explore, whether isolation breeds a certain kind of madness. It certainly breeds a certain kind of creativity, for better or worse. People have to keep themselves entertained. The other half of it is, do evil people find one another and go to isolated areas where they won't be under scrutiny? And that's what this book is. And,
Yeah.
ironically, the whole Epstein files is happening as I'm launching this book. And
Right.
I find the parallels rather frightening, actually.
Yeah. I mean, there are some little commonalities there that good timing for you. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, yeah, let's just all do sex trafficking
Let's
books.
yes, yeah. Why not?
All of this is
That's the new
happening.
vamp. This will be the new vampire. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
now this book and most of your previous novels have focused on women, strong women like Hallie. I mean, she's the kind of person that if you tell her no, she's just going to dig in deeper. Um, who are trying to find their place and their agency in the world.
Mhm.
What is it about that attracts you as an author?
I mean, I think that's ultimately my story, right? Of just being a woman I worked in a lot of male oriented environments. I even growing up, there wasn't a women's golf team, so I had to play on the men's golf team.
Oh wow.
I had to make my way in these worlds and stand up for myself and find my own power and agency and be able to, somebody steps out of line to be able to put them back in line, but do it in a very political way so that, you don't lose your job and everything. It's that delicate balance that I think every woman finds herself in, especially out in the world, especially in a work environment where, if you're tough, you're a bitch. But, which is not necessarily the case. Just sometimes people don't like it when women are strong.
Yeah.
And that I love those kinds of characters. I don't like the ones that are necessarily born in blood and that makes them strong. I like women who are strong already
Hmm.
and are put in untenable situations, and then we get to see their real character, because strength is just somebody with a lot of character and a lot of courage.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's very, very true. Now, you've mentioned that for a number of reasons, Last Scene was one of your most difficult books to write. What made it that much of a challenge for you?
Staying in one person's head and maintaining momentum. And it's a mystery, which
Yeah.
why? 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 Mysteries are way harder to write than thrillers for me. You know, the mystery, the reader and the character are finding things out together. In a thriller, the reader's ahead of the character. The reader knows what's happening in a lot of cases. And that's its own balance of finding the tension and keeping the story's momentum going, but it's a different kind of tension. So I really wanted to try having a really one character book. I couldn't do it. Obviously, there are two other small points of view. One is her sister, who
Mhm.
we get to see parts of why and how she came to kill her mother. And the other is a monster.
Mhm.
And he is truly monstrous and mocking and just, I don't know where he came from. That voice came first in the book, though. He was
Really?
the first chapters I wrote. Yeah, it's I
Huh.
had to go find the other characters because he was so strong and so intense, and yeah, he's pretty creepy. Pretty
Yeah,
creepy.
no, it very, very much so. And we were emailing back and forth, about this, and you mentioned that the audiobook, is coming out for this, and there is an audiobook narrator who takes that voice. Um, I couldn't help but hear that as I was reading it because I've heard him narrate other books, and it's like, oh my god, yeah, that's killer.
It I got to hear it, right? I got
Yeah.
I got an early copy and I went right to his section. And the first time I heard it, he said, "Come here, come closer." And I literally had a panic attack.
Oh my god.
My heart started going. I had chills. I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
my God." You know, he's scary, right? He is the monster in the closet. He is the
Yeah.
thing that we all fear. And to have Scott Brick read him was an
Yeah.
unbelievable honor. Saskia Marlavelle does all the rest of the book, and she's brilliant. And the two of them together in this, it's a really great audio
Yeah.
experience. It really
Yeah.
is.
I
It
mean,
freaked
just
me out.
yeah, yeah, I can imagine because just knowing that, Scott was narrating that section of the book when I got to that, it's like I could hear it in his
Uh-huh.
voice, and it's like, yeah, you get chills,
And
just
he
just
leaned in.
oh,
He leaned into it.
oh, that's outstanding.
It's really creepy.
Oh, oh god. I
So
love
how
it.
fun
I
is
love it.
that? I mean,
That's
what a for me, that's
yeah.
like a badge of honor. I've got
Oh,
Scott Brick
yeah.
reading part of my book. I'm just thrilled to pieces about that.
That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Now, you always are one of the most encouraging people for authors. You support people, across our community. What one piece of advice would you give to authors that are just kind of starting on that path, knowing what you know now after 34 novels, being a New York Times bestseller, USA Today bestseller, and having Scott Brick narrate your audiobook? What what could you offer to new people? Yes, exactly that.
Honestly, it's the advice that I give myself, which is find your time and
Mm,
stick to it, and then expect everyone around you to respect that time as well. Because you have to do the work, right? Finishing is the
yeah.
only measure of success that matters. I mean, there's a lot of ego in this industry, and there's a lot of really great things, and they
Mhm.
can be fabulous and they can be demoralizing, and the wide spectrum. I've been in this for 20 years. I've had a lot of highs and a lot of lows, and the one thing that matters is finishing. And if you can't finish, that means you don't have your time. So set your time, whether it's an hour before the kids leave, or it's 10
Yeah.
o'clock at night, or if you're lucky enough to do this, a full time. I'm a really, really great 11 to 4 writer. That's my time. I want to be that person that gets up with the chickens and writes first thing. I am not that person. I'm just not that person. Um, I am a night owl majorly. So I have to force myself to go to bed and force myself to get up. So afternoon writing works for me. But if you do it and then you have everyone respect that, I mean, literally, if you're not bleeding and need to go to the ER, do not bother me. It's hard to do. It's
It
really,
is.
especially if you've got, kids at home or, all of that kind of stuff. I really, really admire everyone who writes who has kids at home because I know how
Yeah.
challenging that has to be. I mean, even the cat can distract me. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly that. No, that's very true. We're going to end up with something we call three quick hits, and it's just three quick questions. Put you in kind of Hallie's headspace. What's her favorite drink? What's her cocktail of choice?
Her cocktail of gosh, does she even drink in this? I mean, I think she would be a good full-bodied red kind of girl.
I could see that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that. That fits her.
She's kind of a girly girl. Yeah,
A
I
little.
think she would like a good glass of wine.
Yeah, I think so. How about her music? What does she listen to?
Now that I do she is a huge music person, and there are actually playlists. I have my
Mhm.
own playlist for this book, but Hallie
Yeah,
has her own playlist as well. She is a 90s rocker. She loves punk rock, she loves alternative, she's listening to Nine Inch Nails and REM and Vicious Traditions and all of these really great, cool bands.
I love it. That fits her totally. And
Yep.
then, what's Hallie's greatest fear?
I think losing her husband is her biggest fear, and that's the thing that's happening to her.
Yeah,
They want to be together, and but she wants kids and he doesn't. And so the great love of her life, her marriage is failing. And I think that is the thing that she would really like to keep.
yep. That sums it up. Folks, we've been talking with J.T. Ellison, the author of the brand new Last Scene. It's out on August 1st. You're going to want to grab this and go ahead and grab the audiobook too, because you're going to love that experience.
So
JT's
cool.
got a great newsletter on Substack. It's called The Creative Edge. Chock full of good stuff. I look forward to that every time it comes out. But JT,
Thank you.
God, it's good to see you.
You too. I can't wait to see you in person here in a few weeks. It's going to be great.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun. I'll see you then. Take
Awesome.
care.
Take care.